This is my audience. Hello, my name is Starri Williams, and I will be speaking on George Washington Carver, Black History Month. George Washington Carver's best quote is, "Education is the key to unlock the golden door to freedom." George Washington Carver was born January the year 1864, and his birth date was unknown. It was believed that he was born into slavery in Missouri the year 1864. George Washington Carver was born in Kansas Territory near Diamond Grove, Missouri. He was born to a mother, Mary, and a father, Giles, an enslaved couple owned by Moses Carver, a German farmer. George Washington Carver's father died shortly before he was born. George had 10 sisters who died before birth. He also had a brother named James. George Washington Carver's early years was not easy. George Washington Carver and his brother attended a high school in their hometown named Neosho, where they walked 9 miles just to go to school. Both George and his brother went faithfully. Years passed as they went to the high school, as James decided to stop going and he became a house painter. Even though he stopped going, George Washington Carver continued to go and successfully finished his 4 years and graduated at the age of 20 years old. After slavery, Moses Carver and his wife Suzanne took in both George Washington Carver and his brother James. They always encouraged George Washington to be what he wanted to be and to always pursue his dreams. Aunt Susan, as George Washington would call her, taught him how to read and also how to write. Blacks weren't allowed to go to school, the public schools in their hometown in Diamond Grove, Missouri. To go to school, many blacks walked 10 miles or even 9 miles like George Washington Carver and his brother James did. George Washington Carver applied to many different types of colleges. He identified himself as Carver's George. George Washington Carver was invited by Booker T. Washington to be a head department of a school where he taught 47 years there. George Washington taught many different tips on farming and also on cropping. George Washington Carver seemed to enjoy his celebrity life. He was honored by many, such as Booker T. Washington, Franklin D. Roosevelt, and NAACP. George Washington Carver became a Christian at an early age, the age of 10. He believed in both God and science and applied it to his everyday life. George Washington Carver lived most of his life alone because he was neither married nor had any kids. After falling unconsciously, George Washington Carver died January the 5th, 1943 at the age of 78. George lived a wonderful and successful life. Today, any other day, and forever, George George Washington Carver will be remembered. He will always be remembered for Black History moments. No matter where you're from or where you grew up, success is always the key to freedom. After researching and coming up with this speech, I have learned a lot. George Washington Carver was not only like us human, he also went through the same struggles and trials as we as people do today. No matter whether it's school, work, goals, religion, or etc., always push forward to be successful in life. Like George Washington Carver would say, education is the key to unlock the golden door to freedom.